Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And what happens when you have an incredibly well-received animated pilot on YouTube that gets tens of millions of views and gets picked up by a Hollywood studio? When you greenlight the series, you recast everybody.
Yeah, because that's going to work.
So we're going to talk about that. There is some controversy around Hazbin Hotel, which again is a huge deal in animation YouTube. We've actually praised the fact that they were able to, bankroll and create this pilot themselves, and they got it picked up by A24 as a series. And this is kind of the future of where I think the animation industry is going to go, right? Well, now that they've been picked up by Hollywood, apparently they are firing all the voice actors.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the reasons why this might be happening. I think it's a real shame because, the cast I thought was really good. But again, this is Hollywood we're talking about.
Well, it's going to bite them in the ass, too, because it's not like it's like a little know-nothing show that they're just picking up and redoing. It actually has, like you said, tens of millions of views and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are going to notice.
Yeah, and they already are, and unfortunately, cartoon stands being the way they are, and we've seen this before in regards to, Hazbin Hotel, VisiPop versus the FNAF community or whatever. Like, it can get pretty heated, and I am concerned that people are going to take it too far. I hope to God they don't. Just a disclaimer, we're going to talk about this objectively. We don't know the inside deal on it. I have to give a hat tip to Chaotic Keyblade, who tagged me in on it last night. And so we're looking at this from outsiders too. Don't contact anybody. You can have opinions about it.
It's not going to help.
It doesn't help. It's already a done deal.
It's going to hurt the situation and make it worse for other people. So just don't.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about this and basically kind of what happens once a show gets greenlit, that it's no longer just your thing.
No, and what other changes are they going to make? Because I guarantee you there's going to be more changes.
I think they're going to tone it down.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think they are. No pun intended. So we're going to talk about that before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. Over 247,000, almost 248.
Almost this time?
We're like 100 away.
It's not a false alarm like last time.
Yeah, we do talk about the animation industry. We talk about the comic book industry. We talk about making your own stuff. And Hazbin Hotel was...
Well, hits all those things mostly.
Yeah, it was this incredible hit that, I don't know if they could have predicted it, but they got together, they bankrolled and created this pilot themselves, and it took off on YouTube. It got, 50, 60 million people watching it, ridiculous amount of views, and it got picked up, and got picked up by A24. And now that it's going to become a Hollywood thing, it does appear that some changes are afoot.
Well, as soon as something gets picked up like this and it goes to Hollywood thing, they're going to change stuff. That's just the way it goes. Yeah,
and a lot of people were excited this was getting picked up. And look, I don't think it's doom and gloom. Again, there was a huge difference. Like look at South Park, the original short, Santa Claus versus Jesus or whatever it was, compared to what the final product was. I mean, there were some similarities in the first season, but stuff changes. It happens. Look at The Simpsons on, Tracy Ullman compared to the final version. I mean, this happens, but I don't think people expected them to immediately be like, yeah, we're just going to recast everybody.
No, I don't think that's what they're expecting at all.
So the only news I can really find on, we'll talk about the article first, and then we'll talk about the people who broke the story, was this off of a site called The Focus. And they're like, it has been Hotel recast the season 1 voice actors, Angel Dust, Future Unknown. They said tease season 1 with an official art poster, but its leading voice actors revealed hours later they're exiting the show, and fans aren't happy.
Probably not, because that's what they built up this audience. This is what got attention with these voice actors.
Yeah.
But sadly, this is the same thing we've been telling you guys. As soon as you give that biscuit to a major studio, then they can make the changes.
Despite only releasing 1 episode, Hazbin Hotel has gained a large and definitely patient following, 115,000 followers on the show's subreddit, and 70 million views on the video. Fans have been waiting for episode 2 to drop for more than 2 years. The good news is the second episode is around the corner. The bad news is some of the fan favorite voice actors won't be returning. And the show, again, got picked up by A24. So Hollywood's going to get its fingers into this. It's true. Several voice actors have left. Now, that's not their version of it and what is actually being told by the voice actors, two different things. They're saying they basically got fired. They basically got pushed out. So they thought they'd be able to dive into a series they know and love. She says, don't get me wrong, the future actors will do an amazing job. We don't know who they are. People are suggesting it might be Chris Pratt for everybody.
Oh, of course, that's a joke. But that'd be funny. I would watch a show with Chris Pratt voicing every character, even though it probably all sound the same.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. So here's a list of the confirmed departures. Michelle Marie, Michael Kovach, Angel Dust, who steals the show, Crystal Laporte, Elsie Lovelock, Josh Tamar, and Gabriel C. Brown. Other voice actors, Twitter users are worried will leave, or Joe Grant. I think they're all leaving. William Andrew Stamper. The talking voice have had no update. Some people just might not be on Twitter, or they're afraid to say something because, again, we know how cartoon stands can be, and they don't want to stir the shit. Or maybe they're hoping they can get back in or something. Or maybe some of the people are staying and they're like, oh, shit, I better not say anything.
Who knows? We don't know.
So they said that the animation was picked up by entertainment company A24 in August of 2020. One fan speculated whether a change in the company might be one of the reasons for the recast. And there are people saying that they think it has to do with the Screen Actors Guild. However, as we're going to see in this Twitter thread, some of those actors are members of the Screen Actors Guild.
Right, so that can necessarily be the reason.
And they can get, there's some paperwork that you can get to basically work for a production that requires a guild. If you're not in the guild, this happened, I believe, with the guy who did the voice of Frylock on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Unfortunately, because he wasn't a member of the Screen Actors Guild at the time, he did not get any royalties or compensation after the show. People were like, who's going to do this? And we know how it's going to go, right? So let's go out to this original thread here. And this is really interesting. Morgan Berry, who's a voice actress, I think broke it.
Elsie Lovelock, who was one of the ones that was on it, broke it.
Yeah, but then she started replying to it, and then she started adding to what she'd been hearing. So Elsie Lovelock, who's on the show, with a heavy heart, I want to tell everybody I will not be returning as Charlie's singing voice in Hazbin Hotel. Getting to sing as Charlie was one of the highlights of my career. I'm beyond grateful, etc., etc. The friends, opportunities, good times. They always try to leave on a positive note.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be an asshole.
You don't want to be like,
you don't want to burn your bridges.
I wish the project every success as it goes on, and I'm sure the new voice of Charlie speaking and singing will be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to Viv for letting me into her wonderful world, etc., etc., etc. Morgan Berry, I'm honestly angry about this. You all sounded incredible, and I'm devastated they decided to take this route. Some decisions were made a few months ago, and many of my friends were left hurt and greatly disappointed. This does not sound to me like they left on their own. All I ask is that people show some love to the original cast and crew. They deserve recognition for their hard work and dedication.
Right, because when they did it, it was a unknown project. No one knew if it was going to do well. They were just trying their best. Then it does well, and then here comes Hollywood to scoop it up and change everything about it. Everybody loves this. Let's change it all.
Yeah, I mean, look, there might have been some business decisions behind it. People are blaming VivziePop for it. They're actually saying on Reddit that, there were decisions that were made. This person's like, it seemed like it's confirmed that it was her, saying with certainty it was all Viv. Her source is, trust me, bro, I know people. She deleted that tweet, apparently. So I think there's some drama. And, it's hard because if it's her show and she technically owns, that show.
And if people were hired work for hire, she can totally do that. Right.
But, what made that show work, and the voice actors were amazing, and that's part of it in bringing to life any kind of a character is the voice has to work with the art. A lot of times it could be argued the art doesn't have to be that great, when it comes to animation, as long as the voice acting sells it. And we've seen that in reverse too with, celebrities not doing a very good job voicing characters. But
just because someone's a celebrity doesn't mean they're good.
Yeah, so it could be that this is entirely her thing, and she can do with it whatever she wants to. It could be, the studio being like, it's our millions of dollars you're going to spend, so you better hire some other people, or Chris Pratt wants to star in every role.
Of course, he does not Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt presents Hazbin Hotel. Don't blame me for the hate others spew, and apparently she deleted the tweet where she's more or less like, yeah, this is a thing. Suddenly spilling tea, half the original cast of the pilot have announced their departure. Viv hasn't made a comment, Well, I wouldn't either. I'd be like, oh, shit. This probably wasn't supposed to get out the way that it did. You choose to believe me or not. I know many of the people involved in the project. I won't throw their names under the bus. Either way, show some love to the original cast and crew. They're equally disappointed. Again, this does not sound like they were quitting on their own.
I don't think that was their choice, no.
No. So what's going to be interesting, though, is we talked about this before, is that, when you sell a show to a company like, Cartoon Network, or whatever, a lot of times you're basically selling your show. Like, that's it. Like,
well, yeah, it is. And I mean, there's going to be changes made. As soon as you do this, there's always going to be changes made.
But then the flip side is, do you want to go bigger with your stuff, or you just want to be a YouTube thing? And, it's doing...
It might be bigger on YouTube than
it might be.
This.
I've actually seen that happen. Look at Annoying Orange.
Oh, yeah, that does not translate.
I mean, that's like ages ago, but like they tried to make like Fred and Annoying Orange, they tried to make them mainstream shows, and they basically gave up on YouTube to chase the Hollywood thing.
But since Hollywood was done with you, that stick is up. You're done.
Yeah, it's just you're just content, I'm hoping the show's actually pretty good, but I mean, I know how this fan base is. This is not going to go well. They might actually lose a lot of support for this. It's definitely a scary thing to do when people will lash out, but I felt it was necessary for people to know the details, especially when the original crew can't speak up about it no matter how much they want to.
So probably NDA, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's even worse. You're under NDA, so we're going to do shitty things to you, but you can't say anything. And I like to say it doesn't happen very often, but it happens all the damn time.
Yeah, and this happens all the time in Hollywood. Like, I mean, people, like, they'll turn in, drafts of scripts, and then they'll have somebody, they'll pay you for it. And with us, I mean, we had 2 shows optioned, and they paid us for it. Can't complain there. But also, taking that money, they decided not to move forward with either one of them, but, we couldn't talk about it.
No, we weren't allowed to until we were released from it. And this happens a lot. And that's one thing that makes me so mad, beyond NDAs and like comics and Hollywood and different things like that, is when you see people doing really unprofessional and shitty things, but you're not allowed to say anything because either you're under NDA or it's very unprofessional of you to call them out. But you're supposed to just let them keep doing shitty things. And those things drive me crazy.
Yeah, and that's why they do the NDAs, because there is gonna, people don't realize how hard it is to actually get. And it's so funny because we see people especially in webcomic circles and stuff like that. They think it's so easy. Like, I'm gonna do my little comic, and then I'm gonna go to Hollywood, and they're gonna turn it into a show, and they're gonna give me millions of dollars, and I can do whatever the hell I want to do. And that's how it works.
Well, maybe once upon a time, but then they learned that things like, we saw with Diary of a Kid.
Yeah.
People aren't going to get the deals as good as he did because, they're like, oh shit, we lost a lot of money because we could have made a tighter deal on this person.
Yeah.
So the next person down the chain is going to get, a worse deal, and so on and so on and so on.
Well, Twitter already blames J.K. Rowling. I'd blame her for everything because her contract was so, she took notes from George Lucas, and she's like, I get control of every fucking thing.
Yeah, good luck with anybody else doing that. I mean, we know for a fact when we went to pitch things, they even have theme park rights now that the publishing company wants to rate. They want to make sure they keep the theme park rights, so they make all the money.
Yeah,
which I think is shit because I mean I can see getting part of the money, but why should they get all the money if someone wants to come to you and build a theme park on your project and it's your stuff? Why should the publisher who just puts the books out get all the money? But that's what it's literally in the contracts now. I've seen it because we signed them.
Yeah, it is. That has been since J.K. Rowling. So basically, every time somebody finds a loophole to retain more control of their stuff, a lot of times Hollywood will find a way publishers will find a way to do an end run around that because, I don't think Scholastic was getting any money from her theme park stuff because that was going through.
It was literally in the contracts now that you have to sign over theme park rights on some of these publishers.
Yeah, you're talking Amish romance novel, and you have to sign away your theme park rights because that's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. But they're probably thinking the same thing too. It's completely unprecedented for some YA novel to get a theme park. But it wasn't until it became a movie, and then So I don't know what's going on, but she does not sound happy. Apparently, she has a lot of friends on the show. I don't know how the fans are going to take it. It looks like she's getting a lot of pushback here. People are basically like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But she's like...
I think she probably knows a little more than some of these other people.
Yeah, she's like, she's worked on a lot of stuff here, right? And she's followed by some other voice actors. She said, yeah, from a professional who's actively working in the industry, knows practically the entire cast and crew. Yes, either way, believe what you want.
They will, don't worry. It's just Twitter. They'll always believe what they want.
Yeah, Twitter will. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can literally be right or 95% right, and they will still call you a liar when it comes to cartoons, especially when it comes to cartoons. We've been on the receiving end of this many, many times. We told people, hey, there's problems at Rooster Teeth. We got Rooster Teeth people coming to us.
We said that they were done with She-Ra. There's another season that was already done.
Yeah, it was
because
already
they were done with She-Ra, but it wasn't put out yet. Doesn't mean that they weren't done. I'm just like, these people are insane.
Because, one person draws all this stuff the night before it launches on Netflix.
That's right. That's how it works.
They wrapped production on it. We were right. We're right about He-Man, basically. We got some of the details a little bit different, but for the most part, it was a Tila show, and He-Man got pushed aside, and we were liars. Even when the show dropped, and it was obvious that we were right, people still said we were liars.
Yeah, I know, it's funny.
It's like, what the fuck? So, this is the thing. This is dealing with, Twitter cartoon stands. And what I'm afraid of, though, is people are going to wind up getting death threats or shit like that over
probably.
this.
Morgan Berry probably will.
Yeah, probably. And don't do that. Do not.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do not contact any of these people. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I think that we're gonna hear more about this in the coming weeks.
Right.
I'm sure.
This is the initial.
This is the initial bomb, the initial shoe dropping. Wait for the other shoe. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.